Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video from End1 for Game. I know we've been a little lax on our content lately, but one of our New Year's resolutions is to try to get out some more timely content more often. So hopefully you guys find some stuff you like. We're going to be doing a lot of some of these online tournaments. I know Nick and I have been working towards playing in the Team Challenge. I'm actually going to be sharing with you the 3 games that I played to qualify as the second member of our local Team Challenge group this week, and hopefully you enjoy it. The deck list is going to be in the info section down below. So because we only had 5 players, our TO decided to do all 3 rounds as best of 3 Swiss with final decision based on records, wins, losses, opponents, win-loss record, things like that. So anyway, we'll hop into this first video. I'm going to be playing a local player. His PTCGO is Miranmiter. His name is Andrew, so you may hear me use either one of those kind of throughout, just so you know. I decided to play Eternatus Poison, and in this matchup, Andrew is going to be playing a Dark Box deck with Mew3 GX as support in here. Hopefully the audio quality is a little better. I got a new microphone for Christmas. You might be able to see it up here in the video box. But anyway, here we go. I was in the Professor's Cup too. Didn't do too hot, so you may see notifications popping up here and there. So I got to call the coin flip, and I got to go first, which, as the Eternatus player, felt really good. Looking at the hand, though, I don't have the things that I want, which is, an attachment to Eternatus turn 1. But I do have the ability to kind of get myself rolling with some of my poison. So I did top deck Crobat, which definitely felt better than what I was left with. So I played the hand down a little bit. I could have attached the energy, get an extra draw, but if somehow I got an Eternatus off of it, it would have felt even better. But I just got this Capture Energy, went ahead and grabbed an Eternatus and used Rapid Fire Poison just to go ahead and start getting some chip damage off on Andrew's Mewtwo that he started with. Oh, so like I said, Andrew's playing Dark Box. I believe on this turn, he goes ahead and gets down to Stadium, which, is fine by me because being able to find those Dark Energies later on is kind of helpful. Just taking a second to check out his discard pile. He had the Darkrai, Umbreon, he had a Hydreigon, Marnie. Don't mind not having the Marnie because we did have a draw supporter. And we see him go ahead and get the Dano down, which, is kind of his big thing here, is getting the Dano loaded up and are evolved and ready to go ahead and make some hits happen. So anyway, he passes over to me. I get my Dark Energy down, and I was only playing 3 Eternatus in this list, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Viridian Force just to figure out. Oh, no. Yeah, I went back and decided to check, just see how many Eternatus I have to see if I could safely get rid of the VMAX. I do have a second Eternatus in deck, just checking a few counts on some things. The switch number, being only at 2, was a little worrying for me. But yeah, so I decided that rather than research, I wanted to go ahead and start knocking down this Dano, because if Andrew can accelerate Dark Energy like he wants to, his whole strategy is not really going to go off. This next turn is pretty uneventful for Andrew. He's kind of just, how do I get where I need to be? I need to get out of this position of having Dano go down too quickly. And all I can do is attach and pass, and that, kind of felt good. Go ahead and switch out the Stadium, figuring that I was going to get energy off the research. I really could have tossed the Eternatus to get my Dark Energy, but never punished because we got our 2 Darks down here. We load up the bench a little bit. I'm going to thin out something else. I think I go for, the other Eternatus just to have those options, and then I go ahead and set up our... oh, no. I decided to retreat before I set up for 5, which, you know, in the grand scheme doesn't really matter, and gained both Toxicroaks down. Felt really good. You know, it's just an easy way to get some extra chip damage with the poison, and I go ahead and dread in for the full amount. Get a quick prize here. Now, if I remember, on this next turn, Andrew kind of draws and decides to go ahead and concede to... nope, he does decide to go ahead and play out with the DAA. I think he was trying to go... yeah, he goes for the Scoundrel Ring play here. We were actually in Discord voice chat, and, you know, he decided if I can Scoundrel Ring and get some extra cards to help set up, maybe that's what I need to do. And then, you know, I've got this Marnie sitting back here, which is going to feel good to go ahead and whatever he decided he wanted, I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to get the stadium back in my favor with Dark City. I've got Dark Energy to go down on one of these Eternatus. Andrew's not really threatening anything here. I think that's kind of just the course of conversation we were having at this point was, what can you really do that's, you know, really going to do anything different for you right now? He goes ahead and gets down another Mewtwo. And I think at this point he's able to Black Lance. And he doesn't actually take advantage of, doesn't use the Rogue Ring. He bosses, and he's hoping just to kind of stall my Eternatus, but I've got the Switch and I've got the Dark City. So I think I take a little bit of damage here when he, like I said, I think he ends up Black Lancing if I remember correctly. I can't remember, so we're kind of just waiting to see what his course of action here is. All right, yeah, so he goes ahead and drops the Black Lance, setting up a 2-shot on that. But like I said, we've got the Switch, we've got the Dark City. It doesn't really matter. And I think here when he's starting to see the writing on the wall, and he's kind of just trying to scout out my deck a little bit, which, you know, at a best of 3, we did have open deck format. So, you know, I don't know, may have just wanted to play a little bit more Pokemon and, you know, try to flesh out his turns a little bit. Here I am just kind of trying to get to my other Eternatus VMAX so I can have one if this somehow goes down for whatever reason. I'm not going to be hurt by it either way, and I just dropped the Dread in to knock out Mewtwo, taking 3 prizes. And really the only thing Andrew can do here is like throw up that Guzzlord and hope that I don't have a boss at any point. And he just goes ahead and scoops. He realized he's kind of far behind there. So like I said, we are playing best of 3 here. So, you know, I go ahead and send the challenger request again. And we handled the, you know, do you want to go first or second over our voice chat? So that's why you're not seeing me asking him on here, do you want to go first? Do you want to go second? But I believe he decided he wanted to go first just because he's trying to get that Hydreigon into play. So, yep, I just moved my mouse there so I could make sure I don't accidentally pick the wrong option. So here we are. I've got everything that I want to. I've got a supporter, I've got energy, and I've got Eternatus. I'm not going to play into letting him know too much of what I have. That's why I just go ahead and hold the Croagunk. So, you know, here he is. He's going to communication to get the Dano out. The Dano is going to come down, which, you know, is pretty much like his ideal turn 1 fantasy is having Dano on the field, giving him some options there. So we see the Croagunk come down, we see Eternatus come down. We're going to go ahead and Magicite to draw 3 more. And I'm really happy here. I get the Slowbro in case something happens to this Eternatus, and I can Power Accelerate onto my other Eternatus. The reason I didn't play the Marnie is he's already got a 4-card hand. He didn't really do much besides communicate for that Dano on that turn. And I really had everything I needed, so I didn't really want to like throw my tempo off too much. But here we see that he's kind of banking on the fact that I had a bad hand by tossing out his Marnie, because I believe he does still have, I think he goes for DAA here into like a research, or he gets like another Pokemon to kind of start setting up his field. So either way, I was coming out ahead on this because I have my Marnie for next turn. I'm ready to go. Options are there. So he's still, yeah, like I said, he goes for the Dedenne. He's trying to find that rare candy Hydreigon this turn. And I kind of feel like the story of this game was he had the rare candy, but he didn't have the Hydreigon. And then the next turn, he has the Hydreigon, but not the rare candy. And it kind of just goes back and forth like this the whole time here. But, you know, he ends up having to play the Marnie anyway, which we're fine with because, well, it's not great because we're going to be down one card. We don't have a guaranteed supporter. But then we get the VMAX, we get the energy, we get a quick ball, we've got research. We've got plenty of tools to work with on our upcoming turn. So, you know, there's not even a problem with that so much. So we see Andrew playing the Cherish Ball here, searching his deck again for the Darkrai Umbreon. And I remember we were either talking towards like the end of his next turn or in the turn following that he ends up really close to being able to use Pale Moon. He ends up with 5 energy in the next couple turns along with Hydreigon, and he's just not able to pull it off. But yeah, spoiler there. So we see him go ahead and drop the Nida set. Or might even, I don't think it's this turn here that he gets that far. Let's see. So you see the quick ball coming down, tossing a Dano. Kind of the hope for him is one Dano should get me through the game if I can power up, you know, one of my attackers. We see the Hoopa coming down again with that Rogue Ring option to search for 2 cards. And so I think here he ends up kind of having to, or he ends up copying Rogue Ring with Mewtwo to set up a little bit here. And so really kind of in my head, I'm thinking what would be great is if I can go Eternatus, Energy, Quick Ball, whatever I get, play the Crobat and try to get a Marnie to take down his hand with the 2 cards he wants in it. So, but here we go. We're actually going to end up not playing the Quick Ball because we've got this, oh, no, we do. Oh yeah, we already had the Slowbro down. So we find another Crobat. So we're going to dig, you know, about 12 cards deep right now between the Crobat and the Research. And I kind of lost a lot of good stuff here. I throw down the Crobat just because I want to guarantee my knockout the best I can on this Mewtwo Mew this turn. And that was like the biggest thing. I could have thinned out Dark Energy with the Viridian and tried to thin a little more. And I whiffed the knockout here. And this is the turn where I kind of think I'm going to have to go to a game 3 because I believe this is where he kind of puts all his eggs in one basket going for the 4 more energy here. Excuse me, to go ahead and drop the Pale Moon. So he finally gets the rare candy and the Hydreigon. And he's going to start searching out some Dark Energy. And what I was trying to remember with Dark Moon was, did it work like Horror House where I can't play energy, play any cards, but it is just the trainer cards? That made me feel a little bit better because I had a lot to work with on the next turn. I kind of assumed that he was going to go ahead and get... the way he plays this turn makes it look like I need to start preparing. What am I going to do when this Eternatus gets knocked out and I don't have trainers? And even if he did, I was able to, you know, I got all the cards on the field to respond with a knockout right back with my VMAX back here. So I wasn't terribly worried, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, is that I think he ends up having to go for Black Lance, and he's got the 3 energy there, and I think he's kind of shooting the shot that he's going to get the 4th energy there, and then he gets the 5th off the Viridian, and I think he's got like a supporter in hand that he ends up going for here. That should have guaranteed him the 6th energy, but he whiffs it. So we, you know, kind of waiting here in anticipation, thinking I've lost. Oh, and then I say, oh no, he just Dark Moon, so I can't play trainers, which feels wonderful. I get another energy on my VMAX. I get another Pokemon down, so I can kind of be in range of being able to get the Darkrai Umbreon. And there goes the first 3 prizes of the game right there. in a Switch, Communication, and a Marnie. All those cards are good just to have back in the deck. I can't remember if he was playing Reset Stamp. He may have, but I don't remember it. So he goes ahead and plays this Energy Retrieval. So he was one card shy of, or no, he wasn't one card shy because he didn't have the energy in the discard pile until the knockout came out. And then I'm thinking he top decked probably the Research because I don't think he supported last turn, but here we go. He's trying again, thinking, all right, I can't miss it twice in a row, so let me get my 6th energy on here. But I think he's stuck just going for another Black Lance again, because he just can't get there. But I think he kind of wanted to see how much you could play down, just to, you know, have some fun, try to show off a little bit. I made sure everybody knew I was recording so they had a chance to say they didn't want to, but there we go. We see his Black Lance. I'm short 1 Pokemon to win the game, and I go ahead and top deck my Croagunk, and I'm able to dread in just to go ahead and finish it off pretty quickly. So thanks for joining us for round 1 of this Team Challenge Qualifier. Round 2 will be coming up in next day or so. All right. Hey guys, and welcome back to another edition of End One for a Game. Today I'll be bringing you round 2 of the Team Challenger Qualifier, where I qualified for the Team Challenge. In this round, I am playing a local guy named Brian. He is playing kind of a Charizard deck, Fireboxy deck, and of my 3 rounds, this is the only one that went to game 3. So let's take a look and see how it went. Still playing this Eternatus deck. I lost the coin flip, but if I remember, I'm still going first here, which, you know, makes sense for him playing fire, but is great for me playing Eternatus. I can have everything I wanted. I have access to my Eternatus. I have energy for Eternatus. I've got some draw with Crobat. I've got some draw with Research, and he took a mulligan, so even better. I don't really remember why I was scrolling the chat log there to see what was going on, but it was just kind of checking it out, making sure I didn't miss anything important. So Brian's still taking a second to set up here. If I remember, he doesn't start Volcanion. Or if he does, he wasn't able to capitalize on it. I remember his first turn this game was not super great. So Brian already, you know, he's kind of overbenching some of his Pokemon here, which, you know, is just kind of a choice to make. He leaves the Snorlax, which is kind of interesting because it's going to put me in a weird place for a couple turns where he's not attacking. I'm not able to get couple things going the way I want to. You'll notice this game goes pretty slow just from a lack of either one of us really setting up and running. You know, the hand with 3 researches is pretty tough, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the board state here. I know I can go into my VMAX next turn while, you know, Brian's kind of taking a little more laid back setup. He's got that Gormandize to try to get a few extra cards. We see like the first of like these HP modifier cards that Brian's playing. And he does go ahead and Marnie us out of what was, you know, a pretty good hand to go off of, especially considering I've lost 2 of my 4 researches already. But what I'm looking at here is I've got access to Crobat for sure. I have possible access to Eternatus VMAX. I have a Switch card. All those things seem to be, you know, going good for me. And I feel like this is just the turn where I want to pop off next turn, but I kind of miss a few key things here. So Brian already kind of knew he didn't have access to that Volcanion to go in and use Flare Starter because he had supported, he attached. So I see him end with a Gormandize for 4, which seems fine. So here we go. We get the Crobat, which is like the big thing I wanted. I decided not to take Oh, no, I do take the extra Crobat. I think I end up deciding this is why I'm going to throw back in with communication to get my VMAX here. And having the other to be able to put the Eternatus down so I can start working a second Eternatus onto the field. So we're looking like we're going to be... I just had to go for like the full Monty of cards here, and I think I whiffed the Dark Energy. Nope, I didn't. Get a Hoopa down just as a little extra damage, and throw the Capture down, which isn't really doing much for us. I think I just had to go ahead and get the Croagunk, knowing that this Charizard VMAX is going to have some extra hit points on it, so my poison could make a big deal. But this is not the game, I guess, where it took a little bit to get going. So my prize here is a Dark City, which, you know, if Brian tries to stall out everything except for this VMAX, has free retreat off of the Dark City. And the VMAX is why I want active anyway, so if it stays there, that's fine. We see Brian go ahead and send up Talonflame, which is great as a pivot with that no retreat cost. You know, and in worst case, Brian can, you know, ice throw an energy on it, ditch his hand to draw 6 new cards with its first attack, and that's kind of what it looks like he may be planning to do, as he actually gets to welder onto Charizard to get a little more energy going on him. And yeah, this is kind of a non-conventional Firebox, as he is playing the Charizard VMAX in the deck as well. I think we actually get to see that come into play game 2, which is kind of fun. So Brian's still kind of just contemplating what's going on. I've got kind of the board state I want, where I've got energy attachments onto Eternatus for the next couple turns to be able to set up a second Dread End. Really, the only thing I worry about is not being able to have a second Eternatus when this first VMAX goes down. But, you know, Brian's not really threatening anything that's going to one-shot me too quickly here. You know, we don't have a way to one-shot him either with those 310 hit points. We would be okay. I think what I kind of have to end up deciding here is if I just smack with Dread End, he'll be able to like return a pretty he'll hit me this turn. I'll Dread End him for 270. He can Outrage for knockout. I'll send up the Slowbro, poison him. I can retreat into this and still have some damage to put out. So I'm actually pretty happy about that Marnie here. Just I do lose my Dark City option, but at the same time, nothing else in that hand was really going for me. And Brian just said, you know, I can't get there. So game 1 goes to me. So in game 2, Brian has decided he doesn't want to go first, or wants to go second, which, you know, is one of those catch-22s for him because I want to go first. He wants to go second. So whichever he takes, I kind of get what I want, because if I go second, I'm pretty happy just a Power Accelerator and get, you know, a second Dark Energy. If I go first and I get to slap down the Dark Energy and draw some cards, I'm pretty happy. So I feel just in a better position either way. We're kind of talking over here to see the chat buzzing up, making sure I know which one he wants, because I'm sending the challenge. I think he decides to send the challenge here, and that way if I win the flip, I know what to give him. But like I said, he decided he wanted to go second, I believe. But yeah, so, you know, let's throw a question today for you guys down in the comments. Did you guys get any cool Pokemon stuff for the holidays? I got 2 things. One, I got a 2021 calendar with Pokemon on it for my classroom. And the second thing I got, my stepmom had decided to paint something personal for everybody in the family, and mine was a watercolor of a Squirtle. So definitely pretty cool. But did you guys get anything good? Did you get any packs, boosters, and did you make any good pulls out of it? Leave a response down in the comments below. And here we are, finally getting into game 2. I won the coin flip, and like I said, I was waiting for his response still at this point, I guess, because I didn't just go ahead and click right away. I always try to be careful just because I don't want to assume that I'm going first in this matchup. And, you know, just look at, you can tell this is going to be a slow game, starting with the Crobat and, what is that, 5 energies there. Now, this is the game where Brian isn't really making much of a start either. So I think like my whole turn is attach fast. Yeah, I'm kind of playing the Crobat, and I just say let's go for it to get something else. The Marnie makes me feel better because I don't like throwing away 4 energy cards. Because I think he was playing 1 or 2 hammers, or 2 or 3 hammers in this list, and I didn't want to, you know, risk going down too far on that. So again, he's not able to capitalize on the Volcanion turn 1, but we know he's going to get this Spreading Flames off to help power up his Charizard VMAX on the bench, or Charizard GX on the bench. Well, I'm just kind of puttering along, hoping for just about anything at this point. And this may be the turn where he, he Marnies me, which I'm like, thank you. The thing I'll say is sometimes it's really easy to hide a bad Eternatus hand. I don't think I was really hiding much there because I didn't even get any Eternatus down. You know, I'm pretty content with this hand now that I've got an Eternatus. I'm about to lose my bosses, though. I've still got, you know, 2 in the deck or 2 available. And we just kind of get going here with Dark Energy onto Eternatus, throw down to Dark City just to kind of get Crobat out of the way, I think. We don't really feel like he's threatening my guy back here, but you know, you'll notice this game is going to be pretty quick because I don't get any more draw support in this game. Or I get draw support and it just kind of prolongs an inevitable thing. But this this particular match was probably, like I said, the one best of 3 we have, and we see this Salamence V come down, which was kind of interesting. And I kind of started thinking to myself, he's got the Salamence V, he's got Charizard GX, and when he VMAXes this Salamence, there's 3 prizes, and there's 3 prizes over here on the Charizard. We see another one of those Heat Fire energies helping modify Charizard GX's hit points. We see the Cape of Toughness, which was helping, but he's still not quite content, so he Gormandizes rather than go on the offensive, which I think is fine. And we see that I go ahead and get a VMAX, I get my Dark Energy down, and really I'm just getting a little bit of chip damage on this Snorlax. And this is kind of just the start of this grinding game that I'm talking about. I know we had like 45 minutes to play the rounds, I believe, 45 or 50 minutes, I don't remember off the top of my head. So I was just like, you know, let me just go through the motions and see if anything suddenly starts to feel better. So now this Charizard's up to 320 hit points. And he gets the Flare Strike in for 230, knowing that next turn he can Double Blaze. But right now the writing is pretty well on the wall for me that I'm not getting anywhere in here. I throw up the Crobat without any energy on it. And I'm pretty sure Brian's able to just respond with the boss, at which point I'm like, let's just go to game 3 because... So it may actually be game 3 where we can see Charizard VMAX come down and take the field. But like I said, I was just of the mindset, let me kind of just go and see how far I get. The deck isn't, that Brian's playing isn't cookie cutter per se, so it makes it a little harder to say, could I still pull it back? Am I going to be fighting uphill the whole time? But yeah, so here he goes. He grabs my Eternatus. He outrages it, which, you know, I was kind of surprised he didn't Double Blaze. I think when he doesn't Double Blaze, that was kind of my, okay, let's keep going because we can try to rack up some damage here. We get a Crobat to kind of get to draw again. We've got the Dark Sea down, so we just kind of switch into a Crobat to get a couple extra, to get an extra card. And then we finally get to draw some cards here, and it really isn't much of anything to speak of. We go ahead and Capture Energy. We get ourselves the second Eternatus because we're going to need something to go here. And we go ahead and just Venomous Fangs to try to get some... man, my VGC brain is kicking in. I've been watching a lot of that recently, but getting some chip damage on that Charizard. I thinking, if our Eternatus VMAX doesn't get hit again this turn, we'll be able to bring it in and clean up. He'll obviously go down to 1 prize card between the Crobat and taking out the Eternatus VMAX next turn. And so, like I said, this is kind of just one of those series of non-conventional plays that we're going after and trying to make the best of a bad situation, really. We're just having a little chatter back and forth. Brian's a nice guy. I don't know if I've ever actually met him in person because I mostly play with this league through online since the pandemic started. They're probably about 30 to 45 minutes away from where I live. So like when they do cups and challenges and things, I make my way out there. But my group of locals, we play different nights and different times in different places. So yeah. But anyway, we're looking here like we still don't have a way to get enough damage on this Charizard. And, it's just... I feel like I kind of had to get some damage out there. 120 damage brings him up to 210, 220 with the poison. We know we still need to get 100 damage off from the Heat Fire and the Big Charm. But that feels likely between poison bringing up 230 brings us down to 90. And then the Dread End, even with only 3 Pokemon, is going to be enough to get rid of this Charizard on the next turn. I'm actually kind of surprised in this game overall because we get the Marnie, which is fine. He actually gets kind of behind on being able to do anything with this Charizard, and there's a point where I'll make a play where we kind of checkmate Brian into he either is able to get this Charizard finished and ready to go, or no, he needs an energy card at some point to be able to actually win, and it finally goes in our favor for something. So, but we see, he's got the second energy here. So I think this turn I send up the Eternatus, I knock this out. Then I drop, a Dread in for a decent amount of damage on, or he comes up with this, hits me for 100. I come back with the Dread End for whatever damage I end up getting off on him. And from there, this guy, I'm never able to capitalize on getting just enough damage to get through the VMAX. So it's kind of rough. So go ahead and send up Eternatus, throw an energy on, get my Croagunk down, knowing that really my best way to get through this thing is going to be hunting for some more poison modifiers. So we get the last Crobat, draws some cards. We're able to switch out the stadium, which feels good. We get a Slowbro down, which is fine. We know we've got the damage to knock out Charizard here. And looking at it, I'm thinking, okay, I've got to switch into Slowbro to poison this. We'll get the 30 poison chip. So I was feeling like, okay, maybe it was worth playing out all this time because we're kind of moving to where I could have got into an in-game where I get the win off. So, there's something to be said that if you're playing best of 3 and you had a really aggressive first game, but your game 2 isn't looking great and you feel like you have a good amount of time, it doesn't hurt to play it out. And that's kind of what happened here is I'm kind of just double checking all of his resources, see what he had got through. I see the Charizard come up, and like I said, if he's able to get off the GMAX Wildfire, I feel pretty well. Like I can't get anywhere, but we see the 2 energy come down. He draws, and he actually whiffs the 5th energy, so he's kind of left going with a Claw Slash. I think that's what the first attack is Claw Slash. At which point, again, he's kind of on this timer of, let me go ahead and try to get there again. And when all he can do is the Claw Slash here, because I think he, let's go without this Quick Ball. I feel like he goes for like another draw option, but I think he ends up finding it, like you see, he finds out that it's not there in his deck, so he can't really play much with that, and all he gets off is the Claw Slash for 100, and I'm feeling okay about that. So back to me, I could throw down this Great Ball, whiff it, Let's see, I decided to play the Quick Ball. I think this may be a turn where I kind of messed up what would have been the best sequencing and just trying to hit into this Charizard, but I grab Salaman's VMAX here to try to just strand that and be able to get into you know, this 2-hit game here. Where it felt like the best play in my mind because, you know, Charizard needs just 1 energy to close out the game here, whereas if I can grab the Salamence, he's got to have a switch card and energy. And I'm okay with that line of play. I don't think there was, I think as the, as the next turn plays out, there wasn't really anything I could have done about that. And I'm kind of just forcing him here into, you know, rapid fire poison followed up with Dread in for 240, brings us up to 250, and saying, okay, if you can't close out the game on your turn, I'm going to close it out on my turn. And I am playing dead-handed at this point, which, you know, was probably not the best way to go about it. But at the same time, I was kind of, like I said, in an all-or-nothing position. But we see the switch. He plays a Marnie, which I was like, this is great. But I know he's also kind of in a place where he's got better chances of energy now. He gets the Fire Crystal, and he's able to just go ahead and drop GMAX Wildfire. And I just go ahead and concede. I know, like, the writing's on the wall. Watch the little animation go off. So into game 3, I'm going first again. Oh, excuse me. It's kind of one of those times where it's glad we decided to go with the best of 3 format. We went with best of 3 because we only had, like I said, 4 players in, and so rather than leaving everything up to, you know, 100% randomization, we said let's let it be best of 3 to kind of try to eliminate any variance in the event. And you know, the players were overall very happy about that. The tournament really ran smooth. None of the rounds really took more than 30 minutes anyway, just because of how fast the format is in general. So Brian again is calling the coin flip. And I'm going first, so excuse me. This hand is looking 1,000 times better than what we started with last time. We've got the Eternatus, we've got the energy, we've got Croagunk, we've got ways to find Crobat. So overall, you know, great start. He starts with that Reshiram Charizard, and I think, and yeah, I go ahead and just say, let's go ahead and shoot the poison shot here. We attach to the Eternatus. I'm pretty sure I just go ahead and, oh, nope. Okay, so we play the communication on the Toxicroak to grab a Crobat, taking a look at kind of the rest of the deck. And there's this horrible moment of realization when I find out I've prized 2 of my VMAXs, and I'm just like, man, this is not good. So we go ahead and draw some extra cards, fill the bench up a little bit more, and we just pass. I decided to hold on to the Dark City just because if he plays down his Giant Hearth, we're able to kind of quickly get that out. I left off the Slowbro just because if something's going to take a hit, even if it's just 30 damage from Outrage, I'd rather it be Slowbro than my Eternatus. Because the Slowbro is going to kind of pivot around, excuse me, most of the time. You know, next turn we're hoping to just go Dark City, Retreat, Attach, VMAX. That's kind of the hopefulness. Like I said, playing with 1 VMAX in deck was pretty horrifying. But again, it's one of those things where we want to kind of go the best that we can, and make it happen. And yeah, really, after using the rapid fire poison and putting him up to 10, that 40 would have been relevant if he was able to get off Double Blaze at the full 300 damage mark. So it was, you know, twice good to just leave Slowbro in the active. So we decided to fail that. I'm not sure why I didn't evolve into Toxicroak right there, but I think I was just more worried about getting the VMAX more than anything. Now he's taking 3 poison counters, so if I'm able to get a full bench, we're going to be able to knock him out. And I think this is kind of the turn where I'm not able to capitalize and get that full bench to get the knockout. And it panics me for a second because I think I half hit into the Charizard, which doesn't knock me out. Nope, I guess I do. So I guess I'm remembering a different game because there's like a point where I realized I wasn't going to be able to knock something out, and it was worrisome. But this is obviously not that game. So, you know, right there, turn 2, we just finish off Charizard VMAX, take our 30 prizes, and feel much better when we see that second Eternatus VMAX come into the hand. I think Brian at this point had kind of started to talk about, I guess, probably just going to wrap it up here. Don't really have a good chance at winning after you took 3 prizes on turn 2 and you're just ready to kind of run ramshackle over us. I don't remember what this Arcanine was that he discarded, but, you know, it's over there and not something that we're going to have to worry about this game. I think he played the... I think this is the one that has the ability to get 100 hit points when you have Fiery Scarf attached. So that was, you know, just a plan to try to prolong there. We see his buddy Charizard getting powered up again, and he comes in ready to just Claw Slash again. And this was like the point where if I hadn't drawn this Eternatus, I really would have been pretty worried. But here we go. We get the Eternatus. We get a VMAX, and we go ahead and switch into nope, we don't switch yet. We get the Toxicroak, and I think this is where like there's a play where I'm just for a second really nervous because we switch into Slowbro, we poison them, or we Marnie, then we poison them, and I don't have a switch. I don't have a Dark City. Which for a moment is like just a moment of panic of this is not going to end well, but we know he's taking 5 poison ticks, so he's up to 50 now. Coming back into my turn, he'll be at 100, and all I have to do at that point is attach to this Eternatus back here and get him. I also kind of realized after I had like this momentary moment of panic that there's no way that he can Welder and boss my Eternatus in the same breath, so we kind of got like that second of reprieve there. As we watch him get the welder here. And I think it's just kind of like, let me get off Wildfire one more time just because it's so, you know, fulfilling to get off as an attack. So, yep, there he goes. He gets his 5 energy to do Wildfire. And I think he just kind of, at this point, we start kind of having that, you know, good job, good luck, conversation. I think he's just kind of trying to play out as much as he can at this point, wondering if there's any out for himself, really. We see that Snorlax come out, but, you know, the writing is kind of on the wall, and he wildfires, takes the knockout, gets himself a couple prizes, and here we are getting ready to go in with this clean Eternatus. Promote that, throw down Dark Energy, throw down a Crobat, and use Nida Set just to draw the cards, just in case. You know, I've always tried to advocate to people, even if you're pretty sure you're winning with your attack, there was no reason not to use Nida Set there. Like, if I had no cards, and like if drawing those cards would have, decked me out, I wouldn't have done that. Just in case I messed something up and he could have passed and I lost from deck out. But when I had plenty of cards and drawing was only going to help me there was no reason not to do that. So anyway, that was the end of round 2. Stay tuned for round 3 coming up in the near future. And again, in the comments below, if you got any cool Pokemon stuff for the holidays, please feel free to share. Thanks and have a good day. Hey guys, and welcome to the third and final round of the Team Challenge Qualifier that I played in a couple weeks ago. In round 3, I'm going to be playing Chris, who is the brother of Andrew from round 1. Chris is kind of playing a unique fire deck, and this is the first tournament I've seen him in, so I don't know too much about Chris, but overall he was a nice guy, so that goes a long way for saying too. As I'm recording this video on January 1st, question of the day is, do you guys have any New Year's resolutions, be them Pokemon or otherwise, that you'd like to share in the comments down below? Like I told you guys in the first video, our goal is to be putting out some more consistent content for you guys to enjoy. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this game here. Let's see. All right, so start off with losing coin flip here. And like I said, Chris was playing kind of a interesting fire deck, so he let me go ahead and go first so he could try to capitalize on Volcanian's Flare Starter ability. I've got a lot of decent options in this hand. I've got the Great Ball to try to find Eternatus. I've got the Crobat to get a couple extra cards. I've got energy attachments, and I get the Eternatus, which, like I've said multiple times, is kind of like the whole goal of this deck is turn 1 Eternatus with energy attachment. So I go ahead and switch into the Eternatus to have it active. I'm not really too worried about this Volcanion using High Heat Blast on his turn. I think the Flare Starter just seemed far more likely. And going into the next turn, I've got plenty of other things. I'm going to be able to go straight into my VMAX. I've got a Toxicroak, I've got the energy attachment, and if nothing else, I'm going to be able to research into some new cards to try to get something going. So here we see Chris is kind of in that bad place where you get stuck watering to your Volcanion. Things could be worse. You could have had like a Dedenne in the start. Because Volcanion can still capitalize on accelerating that 30 energy with Flare Starter, so at least the fire's in the right place. So here we start with the Crushing Hammers, which are always a pain for this deck. I always kind of thought about toying around something with like Rose and Rose Tower, but the couple times I messed with it, it didn't really do anything to help out because you had to get into the pieces at the right time, and you'd rather have other stadiums. So just one of those things where the benefits weren't apparent at the time. So we see that Chris has now also played down an Aurora Energy, discarding a Marnie to get that discard something before the Marnie. The Marnie was for Giant Hearth, but he does end up using the High Heat Blast because he doesn't have anything to capitalize on it with. And I'm frankly okay with that. I go ahead and get my Eternatus energy again. I think what I'm thinking is if I switch into this Crobat, I can go into my VMAX and let something that's not the VMAX tank a hit for a turn. Excuse me. There was a part of me that after that course of play, I was thinking I really probably should have attached after the Juniper or the Magnolia so that I could have a chance to power accelerate another Eternatus, but luckily that didn't really come back to bite me, so I'm just able to go ahead and use the Rapid Fire Poison here. And yeah, so I kind of give thought to this. Do I do this? And then I'm like, yeah, let me go ahead and get down another Eternatus V. That way, if Crushing Hammer were to come down, I could hopefully have something like Dark City or Switch to go into this Eternatus, throw on the Capture Energy, and Power Accelerate to my VMAX on the bench. So we see that Chris is taking 3 poison damage from the Toxicroak, and he does get another Crushing Hammer to disrupt my Eternatus back here. I think he played 3 Crushing Hammers in his list. And we see him go ahead and Juniper like 3 fire and a welder, which probably is not what you'd really love to do. But sometimes you're kind of just stuck with. So here we see Chris thrown down the Charizard Reshiram tag team. And, now my game plan has kind of become, I could deal with this Volcanion next turn. I could try to get into just finish off this Volcanion, I could try to grab the Reshizard up front with the boss and get 5 poison and see if I could capitalize on it with my Eternatus. And then I realized, oh yeah, I don't have any energy, so I'm probably just going to let myself deal with this Volcanion here. So go ahead and draw. We go into our Toxicroak, and I'm kind of annoyed because I don't have a easy switch out here or way to move the Slowbro, which right now isn't a huge problem, because if he doesn't move this Volcanion, it gets knocked out coming into my turn, which I'm perfectly okay with. That way I can get fresh hits on something. But I go ahead and Great Ball, knowing that I've got the 8th bench Pokemon for next turn in the Crobat. I've got an energy on, or I go ahead and get it this turn, which is fine. And I'm still lacking a way to move this Slowbro, so excuse me. Go ahead and let the Volcanion take another tick of poison, but this time at 50 damage, so he's up to 110, and he'll get knocked out kind of into our turn if he's not able to move that Volcanion. Yeah, I've got a lot going on in my hand, but not any pieces that I really am excited for. I've got the 2 Marnies, the Magnolia, the 2 bosses, and the Slowbro. I don't need the Slowbro because I've already got him sitting active. If the Reshizard were to come up and like Flare Strike me, that gives me, you know, a reason to be happy about the Slowbro. I don't, you know, Chris over here has gone down quite a few cards, so the Marnie's only but so impactful until he, you know, plays the Caitlyn Cynthia and gets a welder back. So I feel a little better about being able to Marnie, but it would have been nice to be able to capitalize on the boss into the Reshiram Charizard, but he goes ahead and brings up Reshiram Charizard for us anyway. And I believe he just outrages here to get a little bit of damage on, which if it's got to go on something, I'd rather it be the Slowbro than one of my Eternatus, so, you know, can't complain. So yeah, quick ball kind of down, discarding the Psychic, and it was probably at this point where, if you could see it, if you'd see my screen at the time, I had to pull up what he's got the Psychic for, and here it is, Naganadel and Guzzlord. I didn't have a chance to talk to Chris about his choice in that card, but it was definitely kind of interesting just to have to think about. But he was playing this kind of, you know, increase HP strategy that we saw kind of with Brian in the last round with the Heat Fires and capes and charms and all that good stuff. So it was interesting to figure out what was going on. We see he's got Koga's Trap over here just to try to fix some numbers, but he didn't really need it right now because the Hearth was going to be a better play for him. And like I said, we just go ahead and see this Outrage for 30. So I get a switch, which I'm feeling better about. Go ahead and drop the Rapid Fire Poison. And as long as I get the Dark Energy here, we're going to go ahead and one-shot this Reshizard. I kind of figured at this point that I was okay not to have the bosses, because I figure he's going to go from Reshizard into this Guzzlord Naganadel. But even off that research, we with the Dark Energy, which felt terrible having, I can't remember if it's 4 or 5 left in the deck at that point, and only 11 cards. So we're still kind of stuck because we're not getting a... Chris is not likely to take a knockout here. And he's getting that Charizard really close for comfort here. Luckily, he's not at the 6 energy mark to hit for 300, but it was one of those feelings where if he does hit for 300, I get a knockout. I stall for a turn with something to get Dark Energy on this guy, and then I kind of come up and try to capitalize on that Guzzlord Naganadel in the near future. So Chris is kind of thinking over what he's going to do, and he does play down the 6th energy, which is another one of those Heat Fire energies. And I think what's interesting here is Chris, if I remember right, he does not go for the Double Blaze. He just goes for the Flare Strike. and I'm not sure I agreed with that. I mean, it did give him the option to come up with Volcanion to finish this off. So, you know, maybe he knew what he was doing more than I did, but I don't know. I guess he figured the Reshizard wasn't making it through the next turn, so being able to attack on back-to-back turns didn't matter. But at that point, he did go for the Double Blaze. Okay, I couldn't remember. I feel like there was one game where somebody was supposed to go for a Double Blaze and they didn't. So here I go. I decided to put in like all these Pokemon just because I don't want to deck out, because I'm not sure what how quickly I'm going to be able to go through this Reshizard. This Volcanion is going to come up to start poking at things, and I still have to get this Eternatus with 2 energy in the next couple turns. We see the energy is not going to be a problem. It's just going to be a matter of, can we get all that energy down? So we go ahead and drop the Dread in to finish off Reshizard and take a few prize cards. The Dark City was a very welcome sight. I don't think we had seen one so far at this point of the game, and being able to get rid of his Hearth was definitely something that we had been wanting to do for some time. He got a lot more use out of the Hearth than I would have liked. So I think the nice thing here was, even if he, and yeah, you see a Muck Muck back here, definitely kind of like a fire toolbox deck. That's kind of unique. So here he's kind of, we get Reset Stamp to 3, which was kind of worrisome because I knew not very much energy in large amount of cards. But we got like 2 things that we really needed, the energy and the Great Ball to try to find ourselves Crobat. So definitely wasn't complaining about that. I kind of just had to remind myself what the Muck Muck could do in case he did decide to go for like a Flare Starter to power something up. But knowing that I could get his energy off, I decided to go ahead and send up Galarian Slowbro just to poison him and let him get knocked out coming into turn. And we even draw back into the Dark City, which was a great feeling. And we do get the Crobat. And being able to capitalize on like a big draw like this when my deck is only 10 cards, I draw half of them right here, making me feel like I'm going to be pretty good for the energy to close out the game. Go ahead and drop that Rapid Fire Poison. And just kind of making sure there wasn't anything else that I wanted to do. I had to like hesitate for a second there because I couldn't remember exactly how this course of play had gone down. But the Slowbro is just going to stay in the active. We see Naganadel Guzzlord come up. And there's Houndoom coming down. Ooh, excuse me. Again, didn't really have a chance to interview any of these players to, you know, ask them about their decks, what they decided to go with. It's a good possibility in the upcoming Team Challenge Qualifier, since I'm sitting out to enjoy just letting the other 2 slots fill up. I may see if we can get some people to stream their game on Discord, and I can sit in on the commentator side of things to just, you know, kind of add some perspective to the players here. Andrew from round 1 had even offered to send in some of his footage to have commentated over. And I'll say, if you guys have gameplay that you're wanting some critique of, please go ahead and send it over to, reach out to us. We'll tell you how to send over what you want, and we'll see what we can do for you. Now here there was like totally just, it's a misplay and a misclick at the same time. Obviously that energy was meant to go onto Eternatus, and I didn't go over far enough with my mouse. So I was just like, whoops, hopefully, you know, it didn't end up making a difference in anything, because we still have the capture in hand. There's only 4 cards left in deck. We're still able to, pull it out here. He's not able to do anything, so he takes another 50 poison. This time, we're like, all right, let's make sure we get it right there. We move the Slowbro, and we go ahead and Dread in to finish off Naganadel Guzzlord and take our last 2 prizes. So again, you know, that's kind of one of those just sloppy moments where if we had been playing paper cards, definitely wouldn't have happened because, you know, you were paying attention more to what you're doing. But, you know, one of the things we do in this particular league that you may see my mouse going for is we're supposed to screenshot between rounds. I don't think it really shows up on your screen, but if you're wondering what my mouse is doing, gain a screenshot to be able to put into the Discord just to kind of keep match records. So, you know, we're kind of just clicking around. I think I've asked Chris a couple times in this point if you want to go first or second, and I don't think he was responding just yet, and that's kind of what's got me held up there. But we go ahead and I just kind of go on with it and figure we'll figure it out if we have to figure it out. You know, in the best of worlds, Chris just wins the coin flipping and pick what he wants to do anyway. I don't know if it is noticeable in any of these videos, but and I don't remember if I said, but I was playing in the Professor's Cup earlier this same day, and so every time I go to pick my deck, I really need to make sure I didn't pick the one that said Professor's Cup because it was a Nessa Air Scuda Cramorant deck, and we didn't want to be about that life. So anyway, we both take a mulligan here. Chris won the coin flip, so it never really mattered if you want to go first or second. Oh, excuse me. Oh, pardon. But, you know, as I say, we've kind of got what we want. We've got Eternatus, we've got Energy, and we've got a way to draw cards next turn. So that's all we could really ask for here. You know, as we're going through this, I kind of just decided to go for the dark because if I remember correctly, he was playing like a Giratina Unbroken Bonds in here. So this energy could have been knocked off a lot easier. I opted to go for the Croagunk over the second Eternatus just because I had the two Toxicroaks in hand. So I figured, okay, I can evolve one and save a Toxicroak. And my Eternatus was just not in any danger of getting one shot on this turn. So I figured I'd hold on. He misses the Crushing Hammer, which feels great after having to deal with two Crushing Hammers last turn, or last game. He's able to welder onto Houndoom, which is a little better than having to welder onto the Volcanion, because it does give him some options. I did think with Houndoom having one retreat cost and benching the Volcanion, I was kind of curious about this play, but at the same time, he also didn't have a follow-up Pokemon that would have been a good Flare starter target. So we see the Houndoom just use that Vengeful Flames attack for 100, which was fine. Even though I didn't play a lot last turn, Marnie was my only draw supporter, so sometimes you just have to go for what you go for. And here we see we've got another Eternatus, and this Quick Ball going to go find us a Crobat and draw some cards. We get the VMAX. It's not going to be enough to one-shot this Houndoom, sadly, but the survivability was there, which was a big thing. I didn't know if I couldn't remember if he had a way to get a damage counter on that Volcanion, but I wasn't terribly concerned if he could either, because it wouldn't have made it a one-shot on Eternatus. And by the time we got there, I would have got enough value out of my Eternatus to be comfortable, you know, any course of play that he did go with. So I see Chris kind of utilizing the tag call engine here. He's got his choice of his Reshizard. He's got the Caitlyn Cynthia. He's got the Guznaga and the Muck Muck. So he had plenty of things to go for. So, you know, it was an interesting way for him to go about going into that game. So hopefully, it, you know, being able to go back and watch this video, maybe hearing some of the commentary, hearing some notes from somebody who's on the other side, is helpful for Chris as a player. You know, that's kind of one of our big things we like to do, is just make sure that the players are receiving some help out of all of this. You know, we don't do this to make ourselves look great. Sometimes we just really like to, you know, record things, give people a chance to figure out how they're doing, how they can improve. Sometimes I've had people that I play with come up and, you know, in hindsight say, hey, I was watching the video you made of us playing, and I don't know, man. What would you say I could have done better? And it's just, you know, one of those nice talking points. So here we're going ahead and Marnie Chris up to a bigger hand of 4, but we didn't really have enough to still make many plays here. The Reshizard doesn't throw in a knockout on our VMAX, which is fine because he can't get the 6 energy. Ooh, pardon me. He's not playing Galarian Zigzagoon, so we're not worried about that coming down. We can conserve the energy on Crobat, which, you know, isn't really a big deal, other than if it gets gusted up again, it lets us already have our retreat cost paid when that's done. So, you know, can't complain about that too much. We go ahead and finally knock out the Houndoom. And Chris goes ahead and opts to throw up Ball Canyon. Kind of giving some thought to what he should do here. We see Cynthia Caitlin coming down. Probably going to discard a card to be able to get hit one of his welders back. See him discarding Fire Energy. And yep, there's the welder coming back, and he gets 3 cards to work with. And we see Oricorio coming down with that Dance of Tribute. I knocked out his Houndoom last turn, so he'll be able to draw some extra cards before his turn's over. So Reshizard has its 1 energy from a turn or 2 ago. Volcanion now has a Fire Energy, so what we could see here is Chris going for a Flare Starter just to give that Reshiram Charizard a little more breathing room. And kind of what I'm thinking is, since it doesn't have any modifying energy, I've got Great Ball and Communication to get a 7th Pokemon on my bench along with, or 8 Pokemon on my bench along with the Gust to go ahead and knock out Reshizard. And we see another Hammer coming down, getting Hids, which is just a big pain. And we see the Flare Starter to finish Chris's turn. I think what ends up happening, if I remember correctly, is I'm able to kind of play down and get myself up there. Yeah, I just top decked the Dark, which, you know, was great. I'm thinning the hand out a little bit to try to maximize how many basics I can get down. We see the Croagunk. And then we, you know, go ahead and bat for 2. We have everything we need. We could have used this Communication to try to move some stuff around, but honestly, holding on to the Toxicroak to evolve Croagunk next turn felt pretty nice. And if Toxicroak and Communication got put on the bottom of the deck from a Marnie, I was okay with that too. This may have been another game, and I think it was, where I was playing with 1 VMAX in deck, and not seeing it off the first knockout was mildly terrifying there. But, you know, going back and being able to get the VMAX off the prizes on the second knockout made me feel better. Like I said, nothing had ever really got in range of being able to one-shot our VMAX. Ooh, excuse me. So that was good. We see a boss's order to bring the Crobat up. If I remember, there's a way that... nope, he wouldn't have been able to do it this turn because he would have needed the Welder to pay the colorless cost along with the Psychic to pay the attack cost, and he could have like Jet Pierce to get rid of the Crobat. And I think he might not have realized that Crobat was the one with the energy on it. We go ahead and, just to kind of keep it in our pocket here, get the second VMAX going. And I'm kind of thinking here that if I start thinning my deck out, I might be able to get into like a Dark City Switch combo to poison and one-shot this Guzzlord to wrap up the turn right here. So I go ahead and take out the Hoopa from the deck just to have one less card that I have to draw into. The research comes down. We don't need the Switch Dark City. We really just need the Switch. I think I kind of get like excited here for a second thinking, oh boy, Dark City's down. Oh wait, never mind. So then I just kind of have to go into the Dread in play and leave this thing with 10 hit points left. If he retreats it, as you can see, we've got the boss in hand. And we're kind of just in that scenario where he can't hide behind anything because everything has so few hit points compared to Eternatus's Dread End attack. And anything that he could modify is just a switch away from being able to be one shot with Dread End and Rapid Fire Poison. So couldn't complain about that too much. So, you know, at the point that we saw the welder, I looked at Chris's list and he did not have, or he did have the stamp option. So I didn't want to just say, well, if you don't got hand disruption, good game. One, I just think it's bad manners in general to good game somebody if you're not willing to show them what you have. And two, he could have had the reset stamp and I could have been like eating my own words with some elaborate combo that I was missing. But, you know, I throw down the energy on the Eternatus, not so much out of bad manners, but for, like I've said before, if you mess something up, like a damage calc in your head or anything like that, knowing that you did everything correctly to get ready for your upcoming turns definitely won't come back to bite you. In paper, you may just see like your opponent go ahead and concede to try to conserve some time, but online, round 2 with 50-minute round, or game 2 with 50-minute rounds, there's just no sense in me needing to not just take my time. It wasn't a stall for time play. It was, oh, okay, I mean, let me just make sure I'm ready in case I mess something up. So thanks guys for watching. If there's any content you're interested in, go ahead and post it in the comments down below, along with our question today, which is, did you make any New Year's resolutions? Are any of them Pokemon related? Or are they just real life goals? Both of them are important, so please go ahead and share. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the content, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good day.